Ordinary citizens are not bystanders in sustainability. They are its very foundation.
We are not waiting for the world to discover us. We are setting the table, pulling out the chairs, and sending out the invitations.
Good evening and welcome back to another exciting episode of the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with the Caribbean Union Bank. I am Desiree Markham, your host this evening, and I want to thank you so much for joining us and for staying with us throughout this entire series thus far. If you would have missed the last encounter, let me just take this time to remind you that the Sir Novel Richards Academy would have bested the Antigua Grammar School in one of our best debates to date to make it to the finals. This evening in this encounter, however, we have the St. Joseph's Academy as the proposition and the Ottos Comprehensive School as the opposition, and they will debate the moot. Antigua and Barbuda should prioritize hosting international summits, including Shogam, as the best strategy for sustainable development. Exciting stuff. Before we get started, let's meet the members of both teams, starting with the proposition this evening from the St. Joseph's Academy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is William Christian, and I'm the first speaker for the proposition from St. Joseph's Academy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Horatio Reynolds, and I will be the second speaker for the St. Joseph's Academy.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amari Cornelius, and I will be the first speaker alternate of the St. Joseph's Academy.
Good day, everyone. I am Zion Joseph, and I am the second speaker alternate for the St. Joseph's Academy.
We now move swiftly along to the opposition, the Ottos Comprehensive School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jenna Paredes, and I'll be the first speaker for the opposition this evening, hailing straight from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Mitchell, coming from the Ottos Comprehensive School, and I am the second speaker.
Good day, everyone. I am Wayne Walters from the Ottos Comprehensive School, backup speaker, second backup speaker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yale Thomas from the Ottos Comprehensive School, alternate first speaker.
As is customary, a panel of judges will decide on the team that will advance in the competition. Joining us on the panel this evening, we have none other than Miss Elisa Graham, Public Relations Officer of the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission, Mr. Kieran Murdoch, Communications Officer with the Integrated Health Outreach, and Miss Sharon Herbert, Social Sector Planner within the Ministry of Social Transformation and Urban Renewal. And our timekeeper this evening is none other than the beautiful, the lovely Miss Aisha Lynch. Please give them a round of applause. We will begin this evening's encounter with the proposition's first speaker, Mr. William Christian, and we'll move swiftly along by having the opposition's first speaker, Ms. Jana Paredes, and then we'll move on to the second speakers of each team. The first speakers will be given 5 minutes for their presentations, and the second speakers will be given 3 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 4 and 2 minute marks respectively, and ring twice as the allotted time expires. Following the presentations, we will move on to the rebuttals, and in that segment, each debater will be given 3 minutes in which they are to make their presentations. It is now time to hear from our sponsors, the Caribbean Union Bank, but when we come back, the competition starts. Please stay with us.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout,
and boost sales? Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Welcome back to the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with the Caribbean Union Bank. If you are just joining us, the moot for this encounter is Antigua and Barbuda should prioritize hosting international summits, including SHOGM, as the best strategy for sustainable development. We will now begin this encounter with the first speaker from the proposition. Please welcome Mr. William Christian.
Madam Moderator, judges, worthy opponents, and our listening and viewing audiences, a pleasant good afternoon. My colleague and I stand to firmly propose the motion Antigua and Barbuda should prioritize hosting international summits, including CHOGM, as the best strategy for sustainable development. Before I begin, allow me to define the key terms that will anchor this debate. Sustainable development, defined by the Brundtland Commission, is growth that meets present needs without harming future generations, balancing economy, society, and environment. International summits, according to the United Nations Protocol and Liaison Service, are high-level meetings of leaders and diplomats to address global issues. Prioritizing, as per the Oxford English Dictionary, means treating something as most important. In this motion, it means making summit hosting the lead strategy in national development policy. Best, as defined by the Collins English Dictionary, is something of the highest quality or standard. I will speak to how the country benefits economically, infrastructurally, and globally through the MICE initiative, that is, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. And my colleague will continue by explaining the importance of job creation, skills development, and the strengthening of Antigua and Barbuda's tourism brand. Firstly, summit hosting acts as a major catalyst for economic growth. Madam Moderator, since 2024, the government of Antigua and Barbuda has made a deliberate and strategic shift. The nation successfully hosted the SIDS 2024 conference, the 55th OAS General Assembly in 2025, and positioned itself as a growing MICE destination. These achievements are not accidental. They are part of a forward-thinking economic diversification strategy designed to reduce dependence on seasonal tourism. According to the 2024 article by the Antigua Newsroom, Prime Minister Gaston Brown emphasized the financial impact during a recent statement, highlighting the influx of approximately 5,000 delegates expected to attend the event, and I quote, "With 5,000 individuals descending on the shores of Antigua and Barbuda, and if we assume that for accommodation and food they spend at least $2,000 per person, that's about 10 million USD, Prime Minister Brown stated. International delegates are high-spending visitors. They stay in hotels, dine at restaurants, use transportation services, and support local businesses throughout the country. Unlike traditional tourism, conferences and summits can take place year-round, creating more stable and sustainable economic activity. Additionally, these events attract foreign direct investment and future business partnerships. When international leaders and investors experience Antigua and Barbuda firsthand, they are more likely to return, invest, and build long-term relationships with our nation. Secondly, summit hosting drives infrastructural development. A country cannot become a leading conference destination without proper facilities and organization. Antigua and Barbuda has therefore invested in airport upgrades, modern hotel stock, conference-ready venues, improved roads, and stronger communication systems. These developments continue benefiting citizens long after the conferences end. Improved infrastructure strengthens tourism, transportation, and the nation's overall competitiveness. Madam Moderator, Antigua and Barbuda is ideally positioned to become the conference capital of the Caribbean. We are politically stable, English-speaking, centrally located, and capable of delivering world-class events. The successful hosting of the SIDS conference and the OAS General Assembly already proved our competence on the international stage. Thirdly, summit hosting strengthens global visibility and diplomatic influence. When a small island state successfully hosts world leaders and international organizations, it gains credibility and respect. Antigua and Barbuda becomes more than just a small Caribbean nation. It becomes a recognized voice in global affairs. This visibility is strategic for small island developing states like ours. We face challenges such as climate change, debt, and economic vulnerability. Hosting summits gives us direct access to development partnerships, climate financing, opportunities, and stronger diplomatic relationships. Finally, Madam Moderator, the MICE initiative is more than conferences. It is about rebranding Antigua and Barbuda as a professional, connected, and internationally respected nation. Every successful summit signals to the world that Antigua and Barbuda is open for serious business. Delegates who visit for conferences often return later as tourists or investors, carrying our nation's reputation into governments, organizations, and boardrooms worldwide. Madam Moderator, they say big things come in small packages, and Antigua and Barbuda is proof of that. We are a small island with a big vision to be the conference capital of the Caribbean, the diplomatic voice of the small island states, and the home of a thriving MICE economy. We are not waiting for the world to discover us. We are setting the table, pulling out the chairs, and sending out the invitations. The only question is, will our opponents move out the way, or will they watch us lead from the sidelines? And with that, I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christian, representing the St. Joseph's Academy. And he would have made his presentation in a time of 5 minutes and 34 seconds. We now call to the podium the representative from the Ottos Comprehensive School to make their presentation as well.
Good evening, Madam Moderator, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and members of the audience. A nation cannot build sustainable development on applause, photo opportunities, and diplomatic theater. Today, the opposition will prove that hosting international summits, including CHUGM, is not the best strategy for sustainable development and should not be prioritized by the government. Let us first define our key terms. The International Institute for Sustainable Development defines sustainable development, SD, as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The term prioritize, as defined in the Cambridge Dictionary, means to arrange task, problem, or goal in order of importance or urgency to deal with the most critical item first. The word best, also in the Cambridge Dictionary, means of highest quality or being most suitable, pleasing, or effective type of thing or person. I will first highlight weaknesses and potential threats in a summit-based approach. High costs that divert resources away from real sustainable development, superficial development rather than meaningful progress, and a system that overlooks ordinary citizen. My colleague will then highlight opportunities based on the current SD trend, addressing issues of water scarcity and waste management, investment in human capital, and economic diversification. Firstly, Madam Moderator, diverting resources towards events while delaying real sustainable development is like painting a house before laying the foundation. According to Chief of Staff Sir Lionel Hurst, the projected cost of hosting CHUGM is expected to exceed the $10 million spent on the SIDS conference. The High Commission notes that while participating states may contribute limited support, responsibility for the overall logistical planning and execution ultimately rests with the host government. The Global Accounting and Advising Network also warns of the potential for significant budget overruns associated with such events. Judges, such costly investment should result in meaningful sustainable development that benefits citizens long after the event ends. Yet, as the report for Antigua and Barbuda notes persistent challenges including water scarcity, climate vulnerability, high levels of poverty, heavy reliance on tourism, and the waste crisis we currently face due to our exhausted landfill. Worthy opponents, every investment in symbolic visibility delays development where it matters most. Secondly, the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs warns that governments often become focused on building new and impressive infrastructure while failing to maintain the infrastructure they already have, causing long-term inefficiency and waste. According to Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown, 11 million EC was allocated to construct the National Performing Arts Centre to host the Chatham Summit. However, Kelvin Simon posits that refurbishment of the neglected House of Culture should have been prioritized over the purchase and development of the old deluxe cinema to construct the new facility. Judges, when dignitaries are expected, resources appear overnight. Yet, once delegates leave, infrastructure deteriorates and real sustainable progress remains delayed. Distinguished opponents, when summits become the focal point, national priorities shift towards short term visibility rather than long term practicality. Thirdly, UN Sustainable Development Goal pledge inclusivity, yet summits often deliver limited direct benefits for the ordinary citizen. In an interview with Senior Foreign Services Officer Mr. Kurt Williams, he stated that the main benefits of these summits were publicity, exposure, and awareness. While short term economic activity may generate revenue for a narrow group of business owners, these gains rarely create meaningful or widespread improvements for the average citizen. In fact, these same citizens are often inconvenienced by logistical disruptions during summits. Worthy opponents, ordinary citizens are not bystanders in sustainability, they are its very foundation. Judges, sustainable progress is built in the lives of citizens, not in the spotlight of international events. As Mr. William advised, a plan of action still needs to be put in place and reinforced after these summits. For these reasons, we object to the moot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paredes, representing the Ottos Comprehensive School and making her presentation in a time of 5 minutes and 2 seconds. We will now move on to the second speaker of the proposition, Mr. Horatio Reynolds. Please welcome him.
Madam Moderator, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and members of the listening and viewing audiences, a pleasant good afternoon. My colleague defined the meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions initiative and presented the economic, infrastructural, and global visibility benefits of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. I now rise to fortify our case on 3 pillars: job creation, economic diversification, and national branding. Madam Moderator, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting is a direct engine of employment. When Antigua and Barbuda hosted the CARICOM Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, over 400 jobs were created across logistics, security, hospitality, and translation services. But beyond the temporary, these events build world-class professionals, event managers, protocol officers, IT specialists. Our young people gain internationally recognized skills that remain in our economy long after the closing ceremony. We are not just hosting a summit, but we are also building a generation. We cannot anchor our future to tourism seasonal ties alone. Summit hosting diversifies our foreign exchange earnings, attracts foreign and direct investment, and positions Antigua as a hub for conference diplomacy. The infrastructure developed, upgraded airports, broadband networks, convention facilities, serves our people for decades. Let our opponents call it spending. We call it what it is: strategic investment in a resilient, multi-sector economy. Every camera trained on our shores during Shogun is a billboard to Commonwealth's 2.5 billion people. The leaders who walk our beaches become ambassadors for Brand Antigua. Our identity, safety, beauty, capability reaches markets we could never afford to advertise in. High-value travelers inspired by summit coverage return as tourists. Our flag graces global headlines. No budget can buy that visibility. And may I repeat, no budget can buy that visibility. Madam Moderator, the question before us is not whether we can afford to host. Actually, it is whether we can afford not to. Job creation, economic resilience, and global recognition, these are not promises. They are proven outcomes of strategic summit hosting. We stand firm and unwavering, prioritizing international conferences is the boldest and the most sustainable path forward for Antigua and Barbuda. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reynolds, representing the St. Joseph's Academy and making his presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 37 seconds. We now welcome the second speaker of the opposition, Mr. Jonathan Mitchell, to make presentations on their behalf.
All protocols previously established, good evening. My colleague has already defined the key terms and highlighted weaknesses and potential threats in a summit-based approach. High costs that divert resources away from real sustainable development, superficial development rather than meaningful progress, and a system that overlooks ordinary citizens. I will now highlight opportunities based on current SD trends. Direct investment into infrastructure, human capital, and economic diversification. Firstly, Madam Moderator, according to the UN SDG report, Antigua and Barbuda faces severe infrastructural challenges that hinder effective water distribution. Moreover, the Rimlet project under the Department of Environment states that Antigua and Barbuda generates high volumes of waste daily. Yet, given the limited recycling infrastructure, waste continues to go to our overloaded landfill, raising serious environmental and public health concerns. Worthy opponents, sustainable development comes from addressing these issues directly, not showcasing them. Secondly, the World Bank notes that strengthening human capital is essential for reducing poverty and fostering long-term growth. Investments in health, education, and social protection are critical for enabling individuals to maximize their potential. Judges, human capital is the heart of sustainable development. International summits generate temporary and uneven economic activity, but investments in human capital empower citizens to drive real sustainable progress. Worthy opponents, a healthy and productive population is not population, not by Worthy opponents, a healthy and productive population is not a byproduct of diplomacy, but a sustained national investment. Thirdly, economic diversification is essential to sustainability, yet tourism accounts for exactly 70% of our GDP. The World Bank warns that over-reliance on a narrow economic base, particularly tourism, leaves small economies vulnerable to external shocks. Meanwhile, research identifies a number of underinvested sectors in Antigua and Barbuda, including specialized digital services, specialized health services, and the blue and green economies. Whether opponents, an economy built on one sector is not sustainable, it is vulnerable. Madam Moderator, summits may build visibility, but a direct approach builds real socioeconomic resilience and aligns more closely with SD goals. Judges, our stance is clear. Our summits may have merit, but they are a luxury strategy and cannot be prioritized over necessity. While real development remains incomplete. And for these reasons, we object the moot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitchell, representing the Ottos Comprehensive School and making his presentation in a time of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. We will now take our second break to hear from our sponsor, the Caribbean Union Bank, but the rebuttal segment comes up next. You do not want to miss this.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retirement?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Welcome back to the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with the Caribbean Union Bank. If you are just joining us, the St. Joseph's Academy is facing off against the Ottos Comprehensive School this evening, and they are debating the moot. Antigua and Barbuda should prioritize hosting international summits, including Shogam, as the best strategy for sustainable development. The rebuttal segment is about to begin, and each presenter will be given 3 minutes in which they are to complete their presentation. The bell will ring once at the 2-minute mark and twice when the time has expired. Please welcome, representing the Ottos Comprehensive School, Miss Jana Paredes.
All protocols previously established. Good evening once again. Honorable House, we are deeply concerned about promoting hosting of summits as our best strategy for sustainable development. While summits do have some merit in fostering peace and international partnerships, any additional benefits are often superficial, temporary, or even counterproductive to sustainable development. Meaningful sustainable development is driven by direct action, not impression. Madam Moderator, our opponent stated that the country benefits economically. However, an article by Al Jazeera notes that even countries engaged in major international forums, including the G20, continue to face significant debt burdens that constrain real development. Secondly, our worthy opponent stated that it promotes infrastructure development. Judges, I divert you back to the concern of Mr. Kelvin Simon. However, Kelvin Simon posits that refurbishment of the neglected House of Culture should have been prioritized over the purchase and development of the old deluxe cinema to construct the new facility. Now, if this statement is indeed factual, then why is it that we are purchasing a new center to host this summit when we could have indeed upgraded and fixed the neglected House of Culture? Thirdly, Madam Moderator, the proposition stated that future partnership and investment. However, such outcomes merely establish framework and do not in themselves deliver sustainability. I leave these final questions for our worthy opponents to ponder on. Can the merits of job creation for our citizen solve water scarcity, climate vulnerability, high levels of poverty, heavy reliance on tourism, and our water crisis? To these reasons, we object the moot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paredes, representing the Ottos Comprehensive School and making her presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. To end the rebuttals this evening, we will now hear from the proposition in the representation of Mr. William Christian. Please give him a round of applause.
All protocols previously observed, good evening once again. Madam Moderator, the opposition would have stated that the ordinary citizens do not benefit from summit hosting. But as visitors seek hospitality services from the hotels, do our farmers not benefit as there will be an increased need for natural produce? And as these visitors come, will they not be needing transport? Thus, our transport sector will also benefit. Our opponents mentioned that the MICE initiative is simply just high-cost superficial investments, especially regarding infrastructural development. However, we have stated that this is actually a strategic investment in a resilient multi-sector economy. The infrastructure developed is increased airports, broadband networks, and convention facilities which serve our people for decades, not just years. Our opponents claim that it's too costly to hold these conferences. However, the objective of CHOGM goes beyond short-term investment. We are focusing on the long-term benefits it provides, as it puts our small island state on the map, and those same investors will return as tourists, and our economy will benefit, and our local produce will still be put on display, and brand Antigua will be still gaining recognition. The objective of the MICE initiative is not to host one-off conferences, as that's not truly where the revenue lies. It's rather to establish a reputation in which multilateral companies will see Antigua and Barbuda as the best fit nation for their meetings. Madam Moderator, the question before us is not whether we can afford to host, it is whether we can afford not to. And with that, we rest our case.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christian, representing the St. Joseph's Academy and making his presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 9 seconds. That brings us to the end of this encounter of the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series. I'll now take this moment to ask you to show your appreciation for both teams. We will pause here for another quick commercial break, but stay tuned because we hear from the judges when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point of sale machines?
Absolutely. All point of sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Welcome back to this episode of the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with Caribbean Union Bank. In this encounter, the St. Joseph's Academy would have met against the Ottos Comprehensive School, and they debated the moot. Antigua and Barbuda should prioritize hosting international summits, including CHOGM, as the best strategy for sustainable development. The judges have deliberated and tallied their scores, and to present their findings this evening, I will now call on the reporting judge, Miss Elisa Graham. Please give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure this evening to present on behalf of my fellow judges, Ms. Herbert and Mr. Murdoch this evening. So, in terms of our report, we found that the moot that was debated this evening was a very timely one, considering that, of course, Antigua and Barbuda will be hosting CHOGM in the next couple of months. So, of course, from our perspective, we commend the organizers and the persons who would have been involved in choosing that moot. So, of course, it gave our debaters an opportunity to have a current topic. So, that is definitely commendable. We found that both teams did a commendable job at exploring the topic from their respective positions. The speakers handled their presentations well, and even in instances where there were mistakes, there was good recovery, so that is commendable as well. of course, it was also evident that each respective team, there was good teamwork, because if one speaker made a mistake or if one speaker looked a bit frustrated, there was comfort on the other side on both teams. So that is also very, very commendable. It shows that there's synergy between the teams. We also found that in terms, well, that's the positive. On the not so positive side, we found that for a topic that is so current, there was actually a lack of research and primary as well as secondary data on both sides. We found that there could have been more sources considering the current aspect of the topic. Additionally as well, we also found that there was some lack of confidence in some areas where, especially in the prepared speeches, we felt the jazz, we felt the passion. And then in the rebuttals, it was just like, okay, you know what, we just have to get this over and done with. And this was on either side. So definitely we want to encourage the teams as much as possible, whether your heart is there, yes or no, to bring the passion, and keep it lively. Because that's basically what the debate is about. Now I can see and I can feel the nerves, so I won't delay any longer. The better speaker for the opposition, the better speaker for the proposition, the St. Joseph's Academy, is Mr. William Christian. The better speaker for the opposition, the Ottos Comprehensive, is Miss Jana Paredes. The best overall speaker by 0.5 of a mark is Miss Jana Paredes. Now to the scores, and of course we know this is semi-final number 2, which means the winner of this debate encounter will enter the finals against the St. Noble Witches Academy. The scores are St. Joseph's Academy, 74 points. Ottos Comprehensive, 67 points. That means, of course, that the St. Joseph's Academy will advance to the 2026 finals, and they will compete against the St. Noble Witches Academy in the finals on May 26th. Congratulations to all, and have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Graham. I want to take this opportunity as well to congratulate the better speakers of both teams, Ms. Paredes as well as Mr. Christian, and to congratulate specifically Ms. Paredes for getting best overall debater, especially this late in the game. That's truly something to behold. So let's give her another round of applause, please. I will now invite Mr. Christian to come up and give his closing remarks on behalf of the St. Joseph's Academy, and then I will invite Ms. Paredes as well to come and give closing remarks on behalf of the Ottos Comprehensive School.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to give thanks to God for all the strength, wisdom, and the opportunity to stand here today. I'd like to sincerely thank my colleague for his teamwork and dedication, our preparation team and trainers for their guidance and support, and of course, our worthy opponents for a respectful and engaging debate. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening once again. I would just like to say thank you to the judges, to the Madam Moderator, to God especially for bringing us all here very safely, and I ask him that he also takes us to our respected destination safely as well. I would also like to especially thank my trainers. They have done a very good job. They've trained us very well, and I would just like to say thank you.
Thank you so much to both of our teams for doing an outstanding job. When you join us for the finals, you will see the St. Joseph's Academy going head-to-head against the Sir Noble Richards Academy. That's going to be a sight to behold. I want to thank you all in the studio audience as well as our television audiences for joining us this evening. This has been the final episode in the semi-final round for the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with the Caribbean Union Bank. Be sure to join us for the finals, and until next time, stay positive, think positive thoughts. Good evening.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point of sale machines?
Absolutely. All point of sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.